Hi, I'm Raymond Nesser, and today I'm going to teach you how to maintain and tune a concert bass drum. Alright, the first thing about maintenance is that your concert bass drum needs to be properly stored. The best way to do this is to have a great cover. This fabric is very thick, which means that it offers a lot of protection for the drum, and the inside is lined with a very soft felt, which means that it's not going to wear too much onto the drum head or the shell. Also, a great overall rule for covers is the thicker the better, but you also don't want it to be too heavy because you don't want it to weigh the drum down. Now let's move on to one of the most important parts of the maintenance process. Something very important to know about drum heads is that they're very climate sensitive, which means that they require a lot more maintenance in areas of certain climates, such as areas that are too cold or areas that are especially humid. The weather's going to affect your drum heads in a big way, so you're going to need to make sure that you're constantly maintaining them. While it is a great idea to have a dehumidifier wherever you store your drum, that's not always an option. But luckily there are other ways to control for humidity. One such way is through the use of sponges inside the drum. The sponges are used to keep the air inside the drum moist, which prevents the heads from tightening over time. And this is especially important for dry areas. This is where the sponges are kept into the drum. The way that you maintain these sponges is that you have to regularly moisten them. How regularly you moisten the sponges depends on the area that you're in. In drier areas, you're going to want to do it a bit more often, such as maybe every few days. But in more humid areas, you can get away with doing it just once a week. To do this, you first need to remove the sponges from the drum. You need to make sure these screws come all the way off, otherwise you're not going to be able to get them out. Once both screws are off, you can remove the sponges from the inside. And there you go. Now as you can see, these sponges are very dry, which means they haven't been moistened for a while. Most drums will have 2 sets of sponges, so you're going to want to make sure that you moisten both sets. Alright, now let's go moisten the sponges. So, what we're going to do is run the sponges under some water. You can use either a sink or a water fountain, whichever is more accessible to you. You want to make sure that each sponge gets a good amount of water. Once all the sponges have been soaked, you're going to want to make sure to wring them out. You don't want them to be dripping, you just want them to be damp. So this should be the desired outcome, not dripping, but damp. Then you repeat the same process with the other set of sponges. Once this process has been done with both sets of sponges, they're ready to go back into the drum. These things here are the wing nuts that are used to tune the drum. To change the sound of your drum head, you're going to turn these. If you turn them to the right, it'll raise the pitch of the drum, and if you turn them to the left, it'll lower the pitch of the drum. The pitch of the drum is actually changed by changing the tension of the drum head. When you turn it to the right, it tightens the drum head, but when you turn it to the left, it loosens it. The tighter the drum head, the higher the sound is going to be, and the looser the drum head, the lower the sound it's going to be. Sort of the way that the pegs on a guitar or a violin tighten or loosen the strings to change the pitch. To check the tuning of your drum, what you'll need to do is go around to each peg or wing nut and see if the pitches are the same. Those two are pretty close. Those two are different. Can you hear that the second one is a little bit lower than the first? So let's say we want to raise the pitch. What we'll need to do is tune the lower pegs up. In order to avoid over-adjusting the pitch, you're going to want to use small motions. So try just doing a quarter turn. You'll also need to make sure that you do the one directly across from it. Now let's check. There we go. After that, you'll go all the way around the drum and make sure that all of them sound the same and are the sound that you want. And then you'll want to make sure to do the same thing to the head on the other side of the drum as well. Alright, after following these steps, your drum should be well maintained, tuned, and ready to be played. Thanks for watching.